Hey guys, welcome to the video. So in this video, I'm going to be going through the top opportunities coming up this week and stocks that I plan to buy and trades that I plan to make and my thesis behind each one of these. And make sure to stay till the end of the video because at the end of the video, I'll be giving my list of conviction rates and which one I plan to buy heavier in and which one I'm not super convicted on. So make sure to stay for that and let's get into the video. So first off, I've been studying earnings this whole weekend. I've been looking at earnings charts, what earnings I expect to be able to be hyped up before earnings, and which earnings I expect to exceed expectations. I'm taking a look at the earnings chart for this week coming up. As you can see, this is the start of the earnings season. The earnings season provides so many opportunities of hype and earnings beats that you can play off of. So some of the best opportunities in the market are coming up for us to play. We need to be very prepared and have a thesis in mind of when we're selling, when we're buying, and how we expect the investor community to act leading up to earnings. So looking at the earnings for this week, I have a conviction on one of these trades. This trade is Netflix, ticker symbol nflx. But I have two reasons that I'm convicted on this trade. The first conviction that I have is Goldman Sachs, a very trusted analyst, has priced this for a price target of $670. Now it's currently trading for about $550, so that upside is huge leading to earnings. And Goldman Sachs is very smart. People trust their opinion, and that's what made this stock go up so much on Friday, 8% going up on Friday. But I believe we should see running up to earnings. There's one more conviction that I have on this trade, and there's recent news out that Netflix is purposely hiding their subscriber numbers from the public. So that can mean two things. One thing, they're embarrassed by this. The second thing, which I think is true, is they have blown this out of the water and they want to surprise people at earnings. So I'm not going to be playing Netflix's earnings through earnings, but I do plan to ride this hype up until earnings, and I'll sell out either Wednesday or Thursday before earnings. There should be some great hype leading up to earnings, and this is a mid-conviction trade for me. I do not expect to make a huge position, but holding one call contract or something, expiring after earnings, use that implied volatility, sell out before earnings, and it should be some easy profits right there. So the second earnings this week that I do think could have some high potential is Domino's Pizza, ticker symbol DPZ. So we've seen so many people ordering pizza, taking it home. This is something easy that you can just pick up. You don't have to go to a restaurant for this. Domino's is the king of pizza delivery. Their business model is just based on people picking up pizza and taking it home. So I do think this will have some slight excitement. We're not going to see any crazy hype, but I could see an easy 3 to 5% leading up to earnings. I'm not looking to hold it through earnings just because I don't want to be holding that risk. But buying in Monday morning, selling out Wednesday or Thursday before earnings. Their earnings are on Thursday the 16th. And there should be some small hype that we can ride the wave, sell it before earnings, and just take profits quickly, move on to the next big opportunity. So sometimes with earnings, you have to be quick to the boat, get in before other investors get excited about this earnings. So for this reason, I started looking at next week's earnings as well, and actually went months out looking at every single earnings. But in this video, I'm just going to be talking about next week's earnings as well. So next week's earnings, I am very, very bullish on Logitech, ticker symbol LOGI. So their earnings are on July 20th. Why am I so bullish on this one? Logitech is pretty much the biggest webcam company. I have a thesis that school is going to end up being at home. So everybody needs these webcams to be featured on these Zoom meetings, on FaceTime on their computers. So they're just a big growth opportunity coming up. They're pretty much selling out of everything. And recently they launched the Mac version of their MX keys, K380 keyboards, and MX Master 3 mouse. And as you can see with the Google Trends, the trends are definitely up for Logitech. Their search results are up, and this should lead to more and more hype leading into earnings. Now, I'm not sure if I'll hold this one through earnings or not. I do have a better conviction to hold this one through earnings, but I would definitely rather sell it before earnings. We'll see how the price action goes. But I would definitely like to get a position in Logitech this week before earnings and beat the market to this potential stock. There's also just so much technology being sold. Right now, people are at home, there's nothing else to do. Being connected to the internet, being connected with these Zoom meetings. Everybody's getting new keyboards, new mouses, because they're spending more time on the computer. Most people are working from home, and as you can see in this article, which is done by a bunch of institutions, they're saying that 37% of worldwide jobs can be done at home. So this is going to result in more technology sales, more webcam sales, and just leading into Logitech's business model. This will help them immensely. And as they come out with more and more updates to their products, they should just keep on selling out. They're in such high demand right now, and these products are at the top of the market, very high quality. So now we get into some of the big earnings. So on July 22nd, we got Tesla. Now Tesla, let's talk about this. What should we do with Tesla? Is it way too overvalued? Possibly. Is it still undervalued? Possibly. Nobody knows the correct value of this, but all we know, this is the most hyped up stock in the market. Elon Musk knows how to market. Battery day is coming up in like 2 months. So of course it's a risk to play earnings. But if you have a contract expiring right after earnings, I'm sure there'll be more hype leading into earnings. The implied volatility will be so high. Obviously these premiums are super expensive to buy a Tesla call, but this should be some easy hype to ride. Now of course it's risky because looking at Tesla's valuation, who knows what's going to happen at earnings as well. So if I do make this move, I'll definitely be selling before earnings. Even though Tesla always seems to kill earnings and hype their stock up, I just don't want to hold that risk, especially with a call option. So I'm not for sure I'll be making this trade yet, but there should be some easy hype running to earnings, something to be aware of and do your own research on. And earnings that I will be playing is Microsoft, ticker symbol msft. Their earnings is also on July 22nd. And like I was saying, the technology space is growing like crazy right now. Everybody's upgrading their technology. Everybody's buying new Xboxes. The new Xbox comes out later this year, which should be a big bull opportunity for Microsoft. And there should definitely be hype leading to earnings. This is a stock that I like to get a long-term position in. I actually started one on Friday, but I do plan to increase leading to earnings. I'd like to get a call contract or two and sell out before earnings just to secure some profits, because I do believe the value of Microsoft does have room to go up. It's not super overvalued. Of course, it's a tech giant, so the value is high, but rightfully so. Microsoft is one of the best stocks in the market, one of the best companies in the world. Their technology space is growing. They're coming out with new products. Just a ton of growth opportunities. They got Microsoft Teams, and this is a stock that I definitely plan to trade and hold going into earnings. Probably sell contracts before earnings and hold my shares through earnings. So we'll see how it goes. My thesis may change on this leading to earnings, but as of right now, all the research that I've done on Microsoft, this does have a lot of room to hype up before earnings and possibly destroy earnings, get a bunch of people excited for their new Xbox coming out later this year. And I just really do like this opportunity. There's very low risk involved with this one. So next up, we got Amazon earnings on July 23rd. So this is an interesting one. This is the biggest company in the world, and it seems like this stock goes up every single day. Now, is there going to be a lot of hype leading to earnings? I personally think so. Does it have a lot of room to go up? I'm not sure. Now, I do believe from now today and leading into July 23rd, we'll definitely see some gains as people get more excited about potential earnings call. But one thing that kind of scares me is their last earnings, they kind of disappointed, saying they didn't make much money because they're just still trying to focus on growing the business and don't really care about profitability yet. So this is a very scary thing for any investor leading to earnings, so we could see a sell-off leading to earnings. Now, I'm not expecting that, but the fear involved from today and last earnings disappointed. So if people are expecting another disappointment, this could be a risk factor involved with the Amazon earnings. But personally, I'm not expecting that. I do expect a slight run up to earnings. I would expect about 5% to 10% gain from today, this week, up until July 23rd. So it's an interesting play. I personally would not want to hold their earnings. They could kill earnings. They could announce something crazy. Who knows what's going to happen at the conference call? But as you guys know, I like to take profits quickly. I like to ride the hype up and just not risk it all going into earnings. So Amazon earnings is definitely a very interesting opportunity. So here's a very interesting topic. On July 21st, TD Ameritrade and Interactive Brokers, ticker symbol IBKR, are both having their earnings. Now there are so many users coming to the new platforms because they want to start investing. A lot of people are stuck at home. They don't want to go out and get the virus, and they want to start investing. I've experienced this firsthand. So many new investors have reached out to me asking for advice how to get started. And also something with TD Ameritrade. Recently we've seen these OTC stocks take off. As you guys know, Kronos, ticker symbol KNOS, this is only traded OTC. TD Ameritrade does allow OTC trading, and I've experienced firsthand so many people opening TD Ameritrade accounts to be able to trade these OTC stocks. Now this is super interesting to me because these people who are opening these accounts probably are not super high value to TD Ameritrade, just probably having less money to invest with, so TD Ameritrade can make less off of them. But at the same time, their user growth can be huge. As you can see in the Google Trends for TD Ameritrade, they've had a pop recently. Also with Interactive Brokers, they've also had a pop. So these two stocks definitely intrigue me. This would be a low conviction trade if anything, and I doubt that I'll trade these, but just something interesting to look at, look into yourself, do your own research. And I'll be researching more and more leading to these earnings, thinking about if this is something that I want to be able to play or not. I doubt we will see hype leading to earnings for either of these companies, just because people are not expecting great earnings, but they could surprise with their user growth numbers, and that is something that I am contemplating playing, but I probably will stay away, just something to be aware of. So something that I'm really contemplating this week is betting against Disney, ticker symbol DIS. So usually it's not smart to bet against these huge companies, but I'm heavily contemplating this opportunity, and let me tell you why. So I was reading this post by a guy who worked for Disney, and look what he said. The Disney company is currently hurting for cash, and not by a little. The absolute destruction of the global film industry means that Disney is losing billions and billions of usual expected revenues with no certain end in sight. Mulan has been pushed to the end of August, but even that still seems optimistic, and likely no box office revenues may be as low as 20% of what it could have been. Now there's a bunch more reasons in this post why Disney is being hurt a lot right now, but a big thing that I'm expecting is Disney is opening their parks this week. So as we know, we got the virus going on. Now personally, I do not think Disney should be open, and so do a lot of other people. That is totally unsafe, having big crowds of people going to a Disney park, and I see a good chance that these parks get shut down once again. We got some news of some states shutting down already, and Disney is opening their theme parks. That is not a good idea. I do expect news to come out within the next few weeks that Disney is closing down their parks once again. There are some insiders in Disney who are boycotting Disney opening their parks and voting against it. We're going to see how this goes, but personally, I do not think Disney should be opening parks, and so does the rest of the public, and I doubt they'll see many people coming in, and if they do, they could get shut down very quickly. So that's the reason I'm contemplating Disney puts. Now, I would definitely not load up on puts. I would possibly get a contract or two expiring in a month or so. I'm just seeing what happens, but Disney is hurting very badly right now. I do not think that has been priced into the stock yet, and while I do love Disney super long term, for the short term, I do expect them to get hit hard. So let's talk about some high conviction trades. First off, we got Peloton, ticker symbol PTON, reaching all-time highs day by day now, it seems. Personally, I do not expect them to stop until we hit earnings. Now, honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen in earnings because amazing news is already priced in, and I do expect it to get like around $80 leading into earnings, before earnings. So honestly, if it keeps running up like it is right now, I probably will sell out before earnings, take profits, because unless they have some crazy news, I doubt that we see a big jump and we could see a sell-off after earnings because so much is priced in right now. But I am still buying Peloton at these prices to ride this up to earnings, and if it was to drop at all, of course I would hold their earnings because I am super bullish on their earnings. They're going to kill it at earnings. Now the fact that this is already priced in is scaring me to hold their earnings, but I will keep buying, leading to earnings, seeing what happens. This is still my number one position, my number one trade right now, and I'm still buying shares even at these prices. And yeah, I'm just super bullish on the stay-at-home fitness industry. It's going to be a growing industry for years and years to come. Now their bikes are what, $2,000, but the people who are affording this, they don't mind the price because the people who do buy Pelotons, they have a bunch of money. This is not for a wide range of audience. This is about like 10% of the population, and that's all they need to make some huge profits. They get the monthly subscription fees, and they get the $2,000 up front. So it's a genius business model. And there was news on Friday that they released a cheaper treadmill. So this is a big growth opportunity as well as they come out with more and more products. The number one brand in the stay-at-home fitness market. There's so much growth to come. I do plan on holding my Peloton shares no matter what happens, but with my Peloton call options, I may or may not sell before earnings. We'll see. So one of the stocks that I keep on having more and more confidence in and more conviction in, especially at these prices, is Flir Systems, ticker symbol FLIR. So we know about their thermal imaging. This is the big growth opportunity that I see currently. Their thermal imaging is going to take off. It's the number one product in the market. They have the FDA approval for thermal imaging. No other company has that as of now. And this is just the premium product that all businesses are getting. And I think they're going to blow earnings out of the water. Their earnings have been changed to August 5th, but I will still be loading up on as many shares and options as I can. I bought 6 more option contracts and loaded up more shares. I'll be increasing this position as we get closer to earnings, and this is a high conviction trade for me. So something very interesting. In the private stock group, we have a member in the military. He sent a picture to the group. They're using these Flir drones in the military. So the fact that the military is using these Flir products, they're backed by the US government as of now. So they have so many business models. The fact that their drones are starting to be selling to the military, and pretty much the fact that I know that they're selling out of all these thermal imaging devices, having the top product in the market, they're going to destroy earnings. I see $50 plus after earnings, and this is one that I do plan to hold through earnings and reap all the benefits of. I'm super excited, and this is just quickly becoming one of my favorite trades, and right now competing with Peloton for my favorite. So you guys know that I still love LCA, which is going to be merging with Golden Nugget. Golden Nugget has a huge growth opportunity. They're number one iGaming player in the market, and the fact that the virus is going to force people to stay at home, they're going to have to be gambling from home. They benefit off of this like crazy, and there's going to be some crazy numbers, especially when the merger happens. There'll be some crazy hype leading to this. So I do plan on loading up on shares leading to earnings, and possibly if options get confirmed for this company, I'll be loading up on options as well. Very excited about LCA. This is also a high conviction trade. So out of all the stocks in the video, I'm going to rank them. So first off, we got Peloton and Flir at my number one conviction out of all of these trades. You guys know I've been talking about these nonstop. there will be more and more hype for Peloton, and I have a high conviction that Flir will destroy earnings. So my top 2 plays currently. Next up, we got LCA. After LCA, my best conviction is on Microsoft, ticker symbol msft. Just leading into their July 22nd earnings, this should be a quick, easy money trade with very low downside. And I do think there should be some very solid hype leading to Microsoft's earnings. Next up, we got Logitech. I would love to hold this one through earnings and reap the benefits if there's not enough hype. But if there's hype, of course, I'll take profits like I do. So next up, we got Netflix, Amazon, and Tesla calls. Leading into these earnings. Their earnings are on the 16th, the 22nd, and the 23rd respectively. I do think there should be some very solid hype leading to earnings for all these companies. The value of these companies scare me, but we should be able to ride the hype leading to their earnings. Next up, we got the Disney puts. Now I'm very fearful because there's a lot of downside for these puts, but I do expect Disney to start shutting down again. I do expect more and more news to come out about Disney and more fear in the investor landscape. And finally, the last ones, we got Domino's, Interactive Brokers, and TD Ameritrade. These are very low conviction, but something to be aware of and possible trades to make. And so those are my order of my top conviction trades that I stated in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not recommending that you buy these stocks. I'm just giving you ideas and my research that I've done and all of my due diligence. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you want 2 free stocks on Webull, links down below. One of these stocks is valued from $12 to $1,400. You can also get 1 free stock on Robinhood if you don't have an account yet. If you want to join the private stock group, and the link is down below, $9.99 a month. You get my portfolio update every single day. Every time I buy and sell a stock, I send a message immediately before or immediately after I buy or sell the stock. And also, we are a community of over 900 investors. I'm finding the best opportunities in the market. A bunch of these plays, they have called out to me, and we've talked about it, researched, been all through the pros and cons. So this is a great platform to find out what trades you should be making, what conviction we should have, and just find the best opportunities in the market. We're all growing our accounts like crazy. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let's get rich.